What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back here with another video. And today we're going to be rocking it out with round 2 of 3 of this mock draft. So starting off with the number 33 pick, let's kick it off quickly with the Lions. And there's a couple of places I'd look at. So first off, we got to look at the quarterback situation. Jared Goff isn't a long-term option, right? So you got two really good options here, Desmond Ridder, Carson Strong. I don't think they make it out of the second. It's hard to think that Desmond Ridder would make it out of the first with how well he's played in the backstretch of the year, which I'm always a fan of people who are able to, of players who are able to fix their game and improve as the year goes on, even though he kind of went downhill and then went back up. Regardless, there's also other positions to look at. You have Martin Emerson here, Roger McCreary, two very high-end players, Kyler Gordon, Darion Kendrick, very talented corners that you can take at the spot. Granted, there might be some towards the later end of the round, but there's also some really good safeties. You got Daxton Hill here, Jalen Catalon, Brandon Joseph. And also you have linebackers. You have Nakobe Dean, Christian Harris, and Brandon Smith. So there are a lot of options to choose from. I think that waiting on a quarterback is just probably the right move, given how linebacker is going to be a pretty big issue. Again, there are a lot of things you can solve in free agency. There is. You can get linebackers. You guys got Alex Anzalone last year. Not like that's a full-time patch, but you guys know what I mean. You can get corners in free agency, and they can work. But we're not able to project that. We also don't know who's even going to be in free agency. So with that being said, I think Nakobe Dean is heavily worth this pick. Brandon Smith, definitely worth it. Christian Harris, also definitely worth this pick. So I think I want to choose the best player available. And I think probably the best one on the board is Nakobe Dean. Like, quarterback is certainly an issue, but sometimes when you're paying $30 million a year for a quarterback, the entire reason that you got an extra first round is because you had to take on that contract. You might as well build up the team for an actual quarterback to lead this franchise. So Nakobe Dean is going to be the pick. Let me know what you guys think about that one. I know he's a little bit slender, 220, but this dude is an absolute freak, really good in coverage, as well as really good on the blitz, something this team could desperately use as an infusion of impact players on the defensive side. So number 34 with the Jaguars. Now, Jaguars, we could definitely look at edge, excuse me, with a guy like David Ojabo. I think he could fit on the outside. You can look at Myjai Sanders, Drake Jackson. All these dudes actually do fit what you're looking for. We already got, if I'm not mistaken, we got Kyle Hamilton in the first. Yeah, we did, which is absolute steal. But we could also look at tackle. I don't think it's very good pickings. Obviously, you could look at Sean Ryan. I do think he can be a left tackle. Thayer Mumford's finally to interior offensive line, so I'm happy about that one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because it's a weird position. You could take a lower end tackle that gives you better value compared to what you could take next round, because obviously there's a shit ton of really, really good edge players in this class. Or you can go after a high end player like David Ojabo, who I think he's overrated. I still think he's a second rounder. It's pretty obvious that he isn't anywhere near the talent of his other teammates, and kind of being the number 2 and showing that you can at least produce is a good sign, but also not a guarantee that you're going to produce. So I think David Ojabo can play what they were hoping for from Caleb on Chason, and I think that's going to get him drafted. He's a very, very high-end talent, and will he go in the first? Probably, but again, nobody knows who the hell is going in the first. So David Ojabo is going to be taken here. Number 35 with the Cards. Again, I would have loved to have gotten a guy like Kingsley Enagbare for this team. Was not able to do that. So I'm looking at edge still. I know Myjai isn't exactly a fit. We could look at Drake Jackson to be that guy coming off the edge. You could even look at a guy like Jermaine Johnson coming from the interior. I'm actually surprised he's only 250. He looks a lot larger than that. Or Zach Harrison coming from the interior. Nick Benito coming off the edge on the outside. There are a lot of ways that we could take this pick. And of course, I want to hear what you guys would do, because saying that the pick's good, pick's wrong doesn't help, right? Obviously, if you want the pick to be different, you guys got to help you guy out. Obviously, I know these players. and I know them a lot even better than what your teams are. So I'm like, you guys bridge that gap a little bit, because obviously learn every single time. That's why we do a mock draft every week. We tweak it, we see the reaction, and then we go from there. So 35 with the Cardinals. I am going edge here, and I think that getting a bigger guy for the interior might be the best move. I know that we could get a much larger dude in Zach Harrison here, and I do think he'll probably be going in the early part of the second. You traded back, got some extra draft capital. You obviously brought JJ Watt on, his size. So Zach Harrison could definitely be what you're looking for right there. Kind of that interior presence that has unbelievable athleticism. Excuse me again. So I'm going to take him. Again, feel free to push back on that. Not exactly a schematic fit, but I do kind of like what you get out of Zach Harrison. Number 36 with the Texans. Again, I'm really considering Desmond Ridder or Carson Strong here because it's a second round pick. You can send flyers on these dudes and see what the hell happens, right? Desmond Ridder just seems like the right option here. I know Davis Mills was just drafted, but do you really think he's going to be on that level? I don't know. I don't know, nor do I really think that it's actually going to happen. Roger McCreary is here, and I think Roger McCreary would fit what the Texans are looking for. Darion Kendrick as well. I like Martin Emerson. I just can't really see him fitting with the Texans. Again, could you go quarterback here? Absolutely. I think it's the right move. So we are going to do it. Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati. I don't think he falls past 36 in the real draft just from how he's performing now. We'll see how he does in this bowl game, but I legit think this dude could be moving even higher just because of the fact that he's starting to play a lot better. Had a really bad patch here in the year, a really bad stretch. And that scared the shit out of me because if you're throwing picks against Army that just look absolutely terrible, and then against Notre Dame, where Kyle Hamilton should have picked off the ball, but the ball was off target, it concerns me. But Desmond Ridder's finally starting to piece it back together. And again, this is a league where no one gives a fuck what you did last week. The only thing that matters is what you're doing right now and how you're playing right now. So as long as he's improving, that is a big sign for me that I'm going to actually lean towards taking his side over anything. With the Vikings here. Now, I think the safety class pretty much cuts off after this right here. And there's a lot of slot safeties, right? Daxton Hill is more of that. He's that free slot. Tyke Smith, much more that slot safety. And Jalen Catalon, you can argue that as well. I think a true strong safety might be the right move here. Edge is certainly an issue. It's not a Zimmer thing to do to take edge this high, although there are some freaky ass dudes. And this is going to be one of my guys who I think goes higher than what people expect. Jermaine Johnson, he is older, right? He's not going to be this young dude coming in. Obviously, he is a redshirt senior. I think he might be even a super senior. But this guy, don't exactly quote me on this. He just reminds me of Myles Garrett a little bit. Much smaller, but when I watch him play, he scares the shit out of me. If I were playing against him, I'd be more scared of playing against Jermaine Johnson than Zach Harrison and David Ojabo. He scares me more. But he also has he's just that damn good, but he's also older. So got to balance that out. Got to end off somewhere. I think that this could be a great pick or the safety pick. I think the value of a guy like Jermaine Johnson is going to be a little bit higher. And this is just going to be a round where there's going to be a shit ton of edges going because this is the edge class. This is the edge draft. And Jermaine Johnson is an absolute freak. Somebody I think that Zimmer would like. Number 38 with the Bears. We are going offensive tackle. I think Daniel Faalele is the perfect fit for this team. I really do think after Jordan Mailata after he was able to piece everything together, that teams would like a team like the Bears are going to start feeling confident about these rugby-esque players, especially when they are the size of 380 pounds. He also was 400, but he slimmed down. He looks really good. He has a lot of developing to do, but this Bears offensive line can't get much help anyways. So I think that another guy who's going to be taken a lot higher is Daniel Faalele. I really do think that people are underrating him at this point. True right tackle going up with Tevin Jenkins at left. That is, if it works out, a recipe for insane success for the future for the Bears. Number 39 with the Eagles. There's two guys I'm looking at right now heavily. I'm looking at Brandon Smith as well as Brandon Joseph. So we got the two Brandons here. You obviously, Anthony Harris is not going to get paid. I'm pretty sure McLeod got paid as well as Alex Singleton, not to mention Goddard. So the money's not there. We already got edge, center, or guard, as well as a high-end corner. This could be a spot to go here. However, I think that linebacker and Brandon Smith fits perfectly with what we're trying to do. Again, does Alex Singleton make me not draft a linebacker? No. Obviously, one, you need depth, but two, you need a guy who can, you need some rotation as well. And you need a mentor for a guy like Brandon Smith. Christian Harris is a good fit, but I think that Brandon Smith's going to get a lot more hype at 240 pounds running a 4.3. So I think that he's a better fit as well. So we're going to go Brandon Smith here. You get your linebacker fix as well as everything else. And people saying that they don't like the center pick and saying that Tyler Linderbaum's a reach, you'll see by the time of the draft. He's going to be a top 10 prospect. I legit believe that he is on that level of Quentin Nelson, that he's just phenomenal. Number 40 with the good old Dolphins. This is probably going to be Christian Harris. I'm not having Henry Te'o in this draft, so I think that you're pretty much taking the last draftable linebacker in the first two rounds, if not first three. So that's probably where I'm going to go, just a heads up. We could look at the wide receiver room. There are some really, really good ones on the board. Again, you guys see me draft Jameson Williams probably as high as 18, and then guys just fall. And that's just the way the draft works. People like one dude, they take their guy. Doesn't mean that players fall because they're bad. They're great. But Christian Harris is going to be the pick. You obviously were looking for a linebacker in Bernard McKinney over the offseason. So you guys showed your cards there, and you're going to get a really, really nice linebacker right here. Again, I think there's going to be a run on linebackers in this round because there is a big drop off. Number 41 with the good old Falcons. There's two positions I go here. Jameson Williams. You do need an actual true, probably number one receiver. And then also I'd look at edge. You could go George Pickens as well. I can see that happening, but I think Drake Jackson is going to get a bit of hype as well. And you guys know me. I like sending Drake Jackson to this team. It's a good fit. Majai could be a better guy for it, but I really do like the way Drake Jackson fits on the squad. So can't complain. Drake Jackson, Kyer Elam, that is a killer combo. Number 42 for the Jets. Now, people were saying that they should have gotten an edge in the first round over an offensive tackle. I get George Fant's been playing well. That's wonderful. However, one, I'm pretty sure Fant's getting older, but two, Fant also has like 1 year left on his contract. So you got to look at the contracts in that situation. It's a little bit rough. I know one of the tackles has 1 more year left on his contract. The other one is up this year. So if you're going to pay these tackles, absolutely you can do it. I don't think George Fant is the guy for the future. So if you're going to say taking a franchise 10 to 15 year tackle isn't worth it at 2, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But we're here now. Edge is still pretty damn plentiful. And I think a guy like Majai Sanders is a perfect fit here. I really do. I think that he's absolutely excellent, and he takes it to another level. 43, I would look at Carson Strong here. I just don't, that at this point, it's not worth moving off Daniel Jones. If you don't do it in the first, it's not worth it here. So I'm pretty sure we got DeMarvin Leal. People saying he's not worth the top 5 pick. Don't watch DeMarvin Leal. He's just ridiculous. I think that this could be a good spot to probably, I mean, it's a interesting spot with the Giants because I really do think tight end is a big addition for this team. They do desperately need it. Pretty sure Evan Ingram not going to be there, and I don't think we want Kyle Rudolph to be our true tight end one. Running back, another one. I think that's a highly underrated position to upgrade. Linebacker, if there were one, I'd probably look at Brandon Smith to add to the squad. No longer an option. Now, we could get an outside edge rusher. I just don't think the edge is going to be that popular. Wide receiver is not a need. I don't get why that's a need. I've already looked at the contracts and everything. Just doesn't seem like it's a great fit. I think this is where we see our first tight end. Isaiah Likely, someone who I would enjoy to the squad, trying not to say like. But it does feel like a guy like Trey McBride fits. He's extremely underrated. I watched him again. And apart from Josh Wiley's inexperience, well, thanks to Josh Wiley's inexperience, Trey McBride's tight end 1 for me. Like Josh Wiley is obviously tight end 1 talent wise, but you just can't draft him that highly. Jalen Weidermeyer, bit overrated, not to the level where Broshmo thinks, but a bit overrated. Isaiah Likely, he's a really good receiving threat. But and then Jeremy Rooker is a really damn good blocker, arguably tight end 2. It just depends on what you're looking for. Trey McBride is the best guy all around. I did see how he blocks as well. Pretty damn talented dude. You may say this is a bit high for Trey McBride, but if you say that, then go watch Trey McBride. This guy is actually a really high-end tight end. You see how he runs routes, regardless of the competition he faces. He does a very, very good job running routes, does a good job blocking, has good enough speed as well to stretch the field. So I can see him running the 4.6s. That's definitely good enough to qualify him for this pick. Number 44 with the good old Colts. I honestly, it's corner pretty much right now. I know tackle is a huge issue, but I'm looking at it. Jackson Kirkland, Zion Nelson's going to return. I hope to God he returns. He's a true junior, and I think he should transfer. You could look at Sean Ryan here. Really good. He could play a bookend left tackle. I think that, and like obviously I was on board with him being a guard. Thayer Mumford as well. Could be a true left tackle. Can be a guard as well. So it's a tough spot because I would be definitely interested in all of these guys right here, just because I think both of these dudes are absolutely phenomenal. However, I know you guys have some corner issues. Martin Emerson doesn't exactly, I mean, he could actually work in this team. So sorry, 49ers fans. Martin Emerson's going to this squad. You do desperately need a corner. I feel like he could be like a pretty much better version of Xavier Rhodes, and that's worked. That formula's worked in this defense. So I like it. Let's go Martin Emerson here. Number 45 with the Bengals. I mean, I would definitely consider offensive line at the spot. Again, we got a true right tackle. You got some very high-end guard and tackle prospects. You could, I would personally look for a center. I think that's just the best move. But if you do want to replace Quentin Spain, not a bad option. You have some pretty good options here. That being said, I don't really see a true center here. And apart from Ricky Stromberg, and I don't think Ricky's going to be going that high, even though I really do like Ricky. It's just, he's just not worth a second round pick. Tight end, certainly, you look at a guy like Isaiah Likely, that could work. You got other dudes here like Kyler Gordon. I think that guy would fit perfectly. I know that B. Gill in here also thinks that, and I don't believe that he escapes the second round. He is very scarily close to the talent, if not better, than a guy who we took all the way at 20 in Trent McDuffie. So watch out for Kyler Gordon because he's going to be taken right here. He is a very high-end corner. I do like him a lot. So Kyler Gordon out of Washington, take him right there. With the good old Seahawks, I think they're going to take Sean Ryan or Thayer Mumford here. Sean Ryan's the guy who's a more pretty pick. He's bigger, stronger, more powerful. I don't know if he doesn't weigh more, but you see him, he looks a lot larger. Also younger, but Thayer's actually playing guard right now. And that's a difference. You have a tackle that might be fitting at a guard in the future versus a tackle that moved to guard that might fit at tackle in the future. And I think that the value of somebody being able to evaluate how he is at tackle right now is a lot better than being able to evaluate a guard and look at what he was as a tackle. So we're going Sean Ryan right here out of UCLA. You do need a left tackle. You need corner pretty badly, but this corner class thankfully is starting to add up to be a solid one. 47 with the Chargers. I think an edge rusher is perfectly solid at this pick. I'm saying Travon Walker's returning just because at his size, at his age, I think this dude's going to be a first round pick next year. I think that his agent's going to be like, dude, just go back. This team's dominant. You might make another run with it, especially if Spencer Rattler wants to transfer to Georgia. But at 47, I could definitely see them going an edge here. Nick Bonito, I think, is a perfect fit to come right off the edge. You could go after somebody else a little bit heavier to go more on the inside, but I think Nick Bonito is perfectly fine. Arnold Ebiketie needs a mention here as well. He could be a really good Uchenna Nwosu replacement. I think that Nick Bonito's talent is through the roof. Obviously, he's extremely highly rated PFF-wise. Very consistent, has a unique play style, but I think this team could use all the help it can get. That being said, though, I was just about to pull the trigger on it because obviously you got guys even down the board like Sam Williams, a bigger dude. You can put him on the inside. but you have guys that might be there in the third. There is a really nice wide receiver here. And I have a weird feeling that they're going to take a wide receiver. I remember I saw Jameson Williams in my mind when I was about to make that pick. I was like, ooh, you don't have a deep threat. You have big, you have separator. You don't have a deep threat. Jameson Williams is just too good to pass on right now. Yeah, but you obviously know I'm going to be going edge for this team in the future, probably in the next round. But Jameson Williams kind of too good to pass on. Number 48 with the Jets. This is another team that could probably use someone in the interior, the offensive line. You do have Thayer Mumford here. If you want to fix the entire offensive line, we could do that right now. Looking at other positions where I could address. Obviously, you could look at the linebacker spot. Corner, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we already fixed that one up. Who do we fix it up with? That's my question. I think Sauce Gardner. Did we do it? Yeah. No, we did not do it with Sauce Gardner. Oh, we did it with Derek Stingley. Oh, wow. We got Evan Neal and Derek Stingley. That's, hey, I know some of y'all didn't like that, but it's pretty damn good. We could go safety here as well. There are some really damn good safeties in this class, and neither of these guys deserve to be here. I think they do go after a defensive star. You know, you are losing your defensive star. I think that guy like Jalen Catalon's going to test probably in the low 4.3s, and that's going to attract a lot of people's attention. He is a missile. He goes right for the ball. I really do like Jalen Catalon's addition to this team. Now, this squad right here is one where I could look at getting another safety, a slot safety for y'all, like Daxton Hill. You know, you can't, I'm forgetting the guy's name. I do it every time. I know his name right before I talk, and then he just slips out. Daxton Hill would be a great replacement for, oh man, I think it's not Morton Anderson. I know that was the kicker, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The guy where you see Honey Badger just sticking his arms up in the air just because he keeps messing up. Feel free to drop his name down in the comment section. I just totally blanked on it, and I do definitely know it. It's just, ooh, that slipped me right there. We could definitely go Daxton Hill here. And I think that's probably where I do go. Again, he is a slot corner. That's a safety as well. Juan Thornhill is really good. That's not saying anything against Juan Thornhill or the Honey Badger. I'm just saying it could be a really good addition to this team. Also, there are wide receivers on the board. Wan'Dale Robinson, George Pickens, dudes who can be legit impacts, David Bell. So you can see all these guys going here. I think that it is more realistic to think that the Chiefs are not going to go defense. So even though they should, I'm going to be going on wide receiver here. I think David Bell's going to get a lot of hype, and I think he fits perfectly with what they're looking for. Just not a true wide receiver one that's a big threat. John Mechie's really good. He's a route runner, but I just don't really think that he brings that much upside to the table the same way Jameson Williams or David Bell does. You could look at Wan'Dale here. I just hope to God they don't continue going with the same formula, because obviously Mecole Hardman didn't work out the way that a second round pick should work out. David Bell is really damn good. Pretty sure he's just he's 6'2". Perfect height, perfect size, really good route runner. Pretty damn good after the catch. I do like David Bell a lot, and I think he'd be a really good addition to this team. Now, I think there are better picks, but I don't think those are the picks that they'd go with. For the Steelers, though, we got a quarterback. I think offensive line wouldn't be a terrible idea. You do still have Thayer Mumford there. I think that'd be a brilliant choice. That being said, we still need a corner. I just missed my hand. A corner and a wide receiver. So I'm looking at Thayer Mumford pretty heavily, because I do think, I don't know if I'd trust Jackson Kirkland to be my right tackle. Like, I don't know. The Steelers might still do it. We might still do that for them, but you still have guys like Roger McCreary sitting here, and I don't know if I can let Roger McCreary or Darion Kendrick fall any further, just because they are that damn good. So heavily considering Roger McCreary right now, I think they'd like him over Darion Kendrick. But again, you can't deny the fact that Thayer Mumford's here, Jackson Kirkland's also here, as well as like guys like George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert, I think, could be a Steeler. I think we might just do that next round. I think we're going to jump off the wide receiver train, or Romeo Doubs, really, really good wide receiver to replace a guy like Washington. So honestly, I'm going to go this corner route. I think Roger McCreary, somebody's going to catch the Steelers' eye, and he's been playing very well. We need instant impact. So get Roger McCreary right there, which I would have sent him over to the good old Saints here, but we can't anymore, which sucks. But hey, he's a really, really good corner. Cannot complain. This spot, Now, this is a spot where I'm heavily considering Darion Kendrick here. I know the Niners are coming up, but that doesn't mean, I don't pick because I want teams to get guys. I will say that probably getting another edge wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think Marcus Davenport is going to be up for a contract. That wouldn't be a terrible choice. That being said, I think we still need to go corner. The value of the edges here is just so good, though, versus a corner, because this team does need a corner, but I don't know if they exactly fix that in the draft. You do have some very good pieces there. You addressed it in the draft last year. So I don't know exactly if they're going to be going that route again. Arnold Ebiketie could be a really fun guy to bring off the edge. Don't think he fits what they're looking for, but there are guys like Zachary Carter, ZPT, which I think is probably going to be my pick here, are guys who can be a really, really good instant impact on the squad. Also fits what they're looking for. He's a little bit lighter than what they normally go with, but I really do like what ZTF. I don't know why I keep calling it ZPT. ZTF brings to the table. Sam Williams is another guy I got to bring up into the conversation. Much larger edge that can fit on the squad. Again, you could go with another guy to Houston. I've already shown that, but don't exactly think that's the right move. So I'm going to go ZTF here. I really do think that adding him to the squad would be a really, really good addition. Leaving the Niners here. And I think this one, I am going to go Darion Kendrick. If I went Darion Kendrick here, I probably would have went Jermaine Waller. He's been playing pretty damn well for Virginia Tech. Very long cornerback as well. So screw it. Darion Kendrick. There are some really good safeties still left on the board. Daxton Hill. Probably would have wanted to take him there. But you do need to get a boundary corner more than anything. For the good old Raiders, who just won last night. So happy Thanksgiving. I would consider, right tackle is definitely a need for them. They like bigger dudes. There's not many on the board. I think corner or safety would be the right move. Now, unfortunately, I just don't think Abram is worth not taking a safety. Also, they do need a wide receiver, though. And a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson fits perfectly with what they're trying to replace in Henry Ruggs. So Wan'Dale Robinson, forgot about the fact that Henry Ruggs isn't even there anymore. Going to be the pick. Number 54 with the Bills. I think this one makes a lot of sense. Going after a guy like Thayer Munford, who can play guard, he can play tackle, just a really solid overall player. Zion Johnson's playing very well as well, but Thayer Munford has that tackle versatility. I think that will put him above. The Browns, I'm surprised. There needs to be teams trying to trade up for safeties right here. You could see a team like the Broncos want to do it for a slot safety like Daxton Hill. Honestly, I'm probably going to try to trade up right now for him. Teams that could also use safeties, you could look at the Falcons. There's not many teams that actually need safeties like the way that a team should. Like there's some guys who could take, like even the Bills could take safety, but I think that the Broncos are going to be a heavy pusher for this pick. So we'll give up some good draft capital for it. Trading back 2 spots, we'll give up a 6th round pick. You add a 6th round pick to move back 2 spots, probably take the same exact guy that you would have taken. Yes. So this is going to be Daxton Hill here out of Michigan. Just a really, really good player. Again, I don't hate Daxton Hill at all. I think the guy's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's a 1st round pick. That doesn't mean jack shit to me, though. Again, the draft board falls the way it falls. And Daxton Hill is worth that pick. Number 56, I seriously don't think that defensive tackle is going to be the right move. Devontae Wyatt's the best guy for it, to be fair. If we want to take it, it's Travis Jones or Devontae Wyatt. But I don't think they go that way. You could look at Zion Johnson here to be a good addition on the inside. I do think they do target in the secondary again, but it is unrealistic to go safety. Who would they get actually at safety? Jordan Battle, that's a good pick. I think they actually go the best offensive lineman left on the board. Or we could, again, go on the defensive side. I don't think they go defense. I have that feeling they just want to continue protecting Tom. And Zion Johnson is the best run blocking guard, arguably, in the draft. So, hey, stick him in, be able to have a really good player. Worst case scenario, excellent rotation, especially if someone gets injured. You're going to be able to continue competing. That's the way you win championships, is either your offensive line stays healthy or you have guys good enough to step in to keep the offensive line playing at a very high level. Now for the Browns, I would definitely consider going after a guy like Devontae Wyatt here. Really big disruptor. Travis Jones as well. Really, really big monster out of UConn. I think he's going to be, yeah, for some reason, I'm pretty sure Travis Jones is going to the Senior Bowl. So I thought I saw it on the Reese's Senior Bowl Twitter account. That's going to be a little bit weird for me. I think they could go edge here to get some extra depth. I do really like Arnold Ebiketie. Nick Bonito doesn't really seem to make sense with how the team's building their roster. Arnold Ebiketie would be a really good rotational dude. I don't know why I keep clicking on him. I think that's where I'm going to go. I don't think it's their biggest need by any stretch of the imagination. I really do think they're going to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. That being said, you do need a rotation, and Arnold Ebiketie has been playing extremely, extremely well. So next pick, we got the Patriots. I think this one is either going to be a safety or a corner because Brand Joseph is that good, where I'd probably want to go that way. Corner is a really good option, though. And I think Noah Daniels just seems like a Patriot. I feel like that's the guy that the Patriots are going to target. He has had some injury issues over his time, but this guy is really freaking good. Noah Daniels out of TCU, going to be stepping in for the Patriots. Going to be, again, like a top 5 corner in the NFL. Just that's the way it rolls with the Patriots. 59 with the Broncos. I would actually be pretty happy to get Jackson Kirkland at the spot. You do need a right tackle. And even though he has some major flaws with his anchor, I really do think that you're able to overcome that with A, scheme, but B, the value of the pick is ridiculous. This guy was supposed to be a top 10 prospect, and you're getting him here. As long as you use him right, I don't think going out of the offensive tackle realm is a bad choice whatsoever. At 60, unfortunately, I would have loved to have gone Thayer Mumford here, right? That would have been phenomenal. We can't do that anymore. Like, Thayer Mumford would have been the right pick. Zion Nelson's returning. I haven't seen enough about Bernard. You know, they're just not good enough value here to take it. Like take a position like offensive line. I would say there is a chance that Michael Gallup is going to be gone, and for that you could get a guy like Jalen Tolbert, who I really like. John Mechie would be kind of a perfect replacement for Michael Gallup, but I don't think that I think Cedric Wilson is a perfect guy to step into that role. I really don't think that's something you need. I do think you re-sign Randy Gregory. However, I don't know if that exactly stops you from taking an edge, especially with how penalty savvy he's been. And also there's been a history of Randy Gregory. I think Nick Bonito is kind of like that Adam Anderson for you. Again, I would draft Adam Anderson. It's just he is going through a charge. So that is the reason why. 61, I would consider going Carson Strong here. Again, I just don't think it happens. So it's unfortunate, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. I would look at getting a guy like Devontae Wyatt here. There is Georgia bias. However, speaking of Georgia bias, you need a number 1 receiver. George Pickens falls. That's just the way it rolls. And you guys can celebrate. Number 62 with the Packers. I think this is a good spot to get extra edge presence as well. And there are guys, again, Travon Walker returning. There's guys like Sam Williams, I think would be a really good addition. Don't think he's going to replace the role that you guys would be looking to replace, which sucks because there's not really a guy left on the board that's designed to replace a guy like Preston Smith. If you want to reach down the board, you can look at a guy like Xavier Thomas to do that. Don't think that's a bright idea. Nolan Smith wouldn't be a bad replacement. You know, I don't like Brenton Cox anymore. He looks really lazy out there on the field. Logan Hall's huge. Zachary Carter, speaking of huge, he's, I think, 285. Yeah, he's 285. That guy's ridiculously big. I haven't seen enough about Cameron Thomas to make an opinion, but obviously 270 pounds. It's a weird spot. Isaiah Thomas isn't bad. But again, these guys are all larger. Nolan Smith probably will come out. I think he's a good pick for this team. So I'm going to select him. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Again, Travon Walker, he is a true junior. Same thing with Nolan Smith here, but I don't think 2 Georgia edges will become first-round picks. I think one guy will have to go in order for the other one to be able to reap the benefits. And I think Nolan Smith's going to come out before Travon Walker. 63, the Ravens. This is a team where I really like there's a billion ways that you can rock with this squad, and every single way is going to be a great choice. I think going a corner wouldn't be a terrible idea. Safety isn't a bad option either. There's still Brand Joseph on the board, and I think a team needs to move up to select him. I really do. I want to see, yeah, Jalen Calhoun already went. I'm actually going to move up with the Lions a little bit. There's quarterback on the board for the Lions. I can't sacrifice that. I might still move up with the Lions for a quarterback. I know you guys don't like that exactly, but again, this is my mock. I do think this is what the right move is. We're gonna offer what, a 7th round pick that should get it. It's 2 spots, right? We're gonna move up and to select Carson Strong. Again, he is a very talented quarterback, right? He's a very talented quarterback. Just there's a lot of red flags, and there's a lot of red flags at Nevada. That's an issue for me. 64 for the Cardinals. I would look at corner here. I would. I think that Riley Moss is getting hosed down right now. I do really like him. That being said, we could look at tight end as well. Running back, you still have some very high end ones on the board. I'm going to hold off on taking a running back right now because Kenneth Walker got held to like 20 something yards. The last time I think they played against Ohio State, they held him like 20 something yards. So I'm going to reserve taking a running back right now. I'm once again going to trade back because, again, Brandon Joseph's on the board and he needs to go more than anybody. So I'm going to actually move up with a team that does need a safety, and one that could use a free safety. I'm seeing if they've already picked a safety, and I don't think they did. So we're going to be moving up with an NFC team right now. That's Washington. Washington's going to move up. I mean, hell, you're getting excellent value. The people who weren't too happy with the fact that I went a quarterback or I went a tackle in the first, you have Cornelius Lucas, I think, on a 1-year deal after this, and then Charles Leno's gone. Your guard spot's empty, and left tackle is the most valuable position on the offense, not named quarterback. So here you get also Pickett, which is, I don't know what the complaints are there. You get Pickett as well as a true left tackle for your future, and now a 5-star prospect. If he changes to be back to a free safety build, this could be the steal of the draft. So I love how this is falling for Washington. I want to know what you all think about this draft. Stay tuned for round 3 tomorrow. See you on the far side. Peace.